Screaming like the start of a race. Diet Pepsi's my fuel in this Monday maze. Shake the weekend fog off my tired face. The hustling begins, no time to waste. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The cloud won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Sun clouds up higher, chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The cloud won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show. Street lights fading, sun climbs up higher. Chasing dreams like chasing fire. Got my rhythm set to overdrive. This Monday motivation vibe's keeping me alive. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The cloud won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, I own the show. Know that we can be heavy, but I'm tougher still. Climbing the mountain, fueled by will. Each heartbeat whispers, yes you can. I'm golden, helping every woman and man. Hey Monday, motivation, bring it on. Let's do this thing. The cloud won't stop, the fire will show. Step by step, I'll feel the glow. It's my time now, let's start the show.
Hey everybody, it is Monday, so that means it is Monday motivation time. Welcome in each and every one of you. If you do not know who I am Pamela, aka Scooterrenee. I'm your host of Monday Motivation, as I am for all Monday Motivation. I also do auctions on my channel, generally Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So you can usually catch me on my channel. Then I'm on other people's channels as well. So I'm usually somewhere in the YouTube world here. But welcome in. So good to see each and every one of you. Make sure you do the YouTube things as you come in. If you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Make sure that subscribe button is still turned on, because you know YouTube likes to take that away sometimes. But make sure the subscribe button is turned on. Make sure you ring your bell for all notifications. Make sure that's still turned on. And a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. And you do that while you come in or at the end of tonight's show. So all the new people, if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad to have you. I hope you'll keep coming back each week. We try to do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Central. And we do different topics. And sometimes we do series. And sometimes I have people come on my channel and share their testimony, if you will. To motivate people that they can get through things in life and so forth. So might be doing that real soon. I think I might take a break from regular topics and have people on. I've had people that want to have on. I've been like, I'm going to have you on soon, I promise. But I wanted to get through this forgiveness series. So we're almost there. So again, if you are new, I hope you'll keep coming back. This is a safe place. I try to keep this as safe as possible so y'all can share with one another and everything. So come on back each week. All my OGs, I see you popping in. I love seeing your names and your avatars as always. It always makes me feel good knowing that my crew is here. The Scoot crew, as I call y'all on my shorts. And then the playback crew, welcome. I always love my playback crew as well, which means you don't have to catch me live, but it sure is a lot more intimate and I think more enjoyable because you can interact with everybody in chat while you're here. So let's see who all is in chat, and then we're going to get started and get into tonight's topic. We got Echo who's in here first. Hello, Echo. Welcome in. So good to see you. We got Kraken. Travis, Kraken, as I call him, is here. Hello, Kraken. Welcome in. Brown Sugar Karen. Hello, hello. Good to see you. And then we got Kathy here as well. Hello, sweet Kathy. Let's see. We got my sister, Cool, here. Feel kind of intimidated, though, because you said you're watching me on the big TV. You know, being on a little screen, it doesn't show everything. Welcome in, Cool. Good to see you. I did say hello to Joanne, right? I don't know if I did. Well, hello, Joanne, in case I forgot. See? Here we go again. We got my feather sister, Selena, here. Hello, Selena. Welcome in. We got Josie here. Hello, Josie. Welcome, welcome. And Lisa D. How are you? Welcome in. Good to see you. And I think I'm caught up for now. People will come in as they get the notification. And obviously, there's other great things going on via YouTube. So people will come in and out as well. So, but thank you guys for spending some of your time on Monday with me. I know it's not only is it the beginning of the week, which a lot of us always say we can't go the whole week without some sort of motivating, right? But it's also the first day of the work week for me and for some of y'all with the time change. So I woke up really good this morning. Bella, she's not a time change girl. And so my dog, those of you that don't know, she's not a time change girl, apparently. I woke up good, but then if you watch, sorry guys, I failed today. I just uploaded the shorts. So if you watch the shorts from today that I just now uploaded, even though it says good morning, if you watch that, you'll know that Tammy and I got some donuts yesterday, and I had 2 of those this morning. And I've got to quit eating that crap in the morning because it makes me so tired. I need to eat it at night when I'm ready to go to bed. All right, real quick, I see Lisa D's put in a prayer request. She said that prayers, my infusions I'm starting at the hospital Thursday will work on my rheumatoid and inflammation. Gotcha, Lisa D. Gotcha. Let me write that down. So that's this Thursday that starts. Lisa D. Infusions. I was like, wait, what was that word again? All right. Gotcha, Lisa D. Right, Selena, yeah. So y'all be praying for Selena's heart. We're going to be talking about that. But pray for the person that took it, that they'll return it. I don't know. We had some crazy wind here, though, Saturday. Like, it was like a hurricane. All right, make sure I'm not missing anybody here. Mary, I was. Hello, Mary. Welcome in. Good to see you. And Lisa D says Thursday and in 2 weeks, then 3 weeks, then every 8 weeks, 3 hours this week, then 3.5 hours after. Gotcha. So they spread them out, space them out. Okay. All right, I think I got everybody. I think. If I didn't say hello to you, just yell at me in chat. Let me know I didn't say hello to you, because y'all know I like to say hello to everybody. So, as always, I hope you guys had a awesome, wonderful, great weekend this past weekend. Saturday morning was like a hurricane of rain and wind, like early part from 7:30-ish to like 8:30-ish. That's right, Selena. Hug them real hard. But Saturday, Robert and I, we went to a couple of estate sales, and then we had lunch, and then I grabbed Tammy, and we went to a live auction here locally. I've taken Tammy twice now. I've taken Selena once with me, and I love these auctions that John does. He's with I Say Sold, something like that. If y'all want to look him up, go on auctionzip.com. You can pull up his page, his dealer page. I Say Sold. He does regular online auctions, and he does live auctions. But he is awesome. His prices are very reasonable. So anytime I can catch one of his live auctions here locally, I do. I go. So I grabbed Tammy and we went, and that was pretty much an all day. We got there about 1. It started at 10. Got there around 1, and we didn't leave there till 4:30ish, something like that. So, and then Sunday, Robert and I went to a couple more estate sales, and then Tammy and I, we went to church that day. We had to go to church and shop. So there's a local church here that has like a thrift store component to it. So, we like to go there ever so often and see what they got and everything. And so stay tuned for all the stuff that Tammy and I sourced this weekend and what we're about to bring at these auctions and so forth. So, but then that's another reason why you want to watch today's short, is because I show you these delicious donuts that we got. So, all right, Selena. Selena is going to that church when she's come here to Arkansas. So see, all y'all want to come and see me, I'll take you to the great places here. We can go to live auctions. We can go to Goodwill bins. I think we have the best Goodwill bins here, if I say so. Out of all the ones I've been to, it's huge, goes forever. But yeah, we got the best Goodwill bins. I think we got some of the best flea markets here, best estate sales as well, and of course yard sales. So if you ever want a good time in sourcing, come here, see me, and we'll go do it. So this week, our topic is going to be on lost plays, meaning the part that lost plays in forgiveness. We're almost done with the series, guys. I cannot believe it. 2 more Mondays and we're done, I think. 2 or 3. However many Mondays are left of this month. So our statement to hold on to this week is we forgive people from the overflow of what we really believe to be true about Christ. We forgive people from the overflow of what we really believe to be true about Christ. So, March, for me, I don't know about the rest of you, but March is a pretty hard month for me. Last Wednesday marked 4 years since I lost my dad, and then the 23rd of this month will be 4 years since I lost my mom, same year. So, needless to say, March is not my favorite month, regardless that it's spring. First day of spring is this month, and Tammy's birthday is this month. So, regardless of that, it's still not my favorite month. So, but I think we all have been impacted by loss in some form in our life, and either of all these examples I'm about to give you or some. But I want to do a quick chat participation time. So again, those of you that are new, whenever I do a chat participation time, you answer the question or make the statement I give you. You get a star, you get entered to a monthly drawing, which is held on the first Monday of each month. So chat participation time. Yes, 10th is your sister's birthday that passed away, 2013. Yes. I actually was thankful. Last week was brutal for me as far as work and getting stuff done. This week has proven to be the same. But last week on the 4th, I just totally blew past it. And then the 5th, you know how Facebook likes to give us reminders, memories, they call it. Anyways, I'm like, that's a crappy memory. I really don't want to bring that up. But anyways, I was like, oh my gosh, I totally, forgot. And then I was like, well, I hope I don't forget going forward. Because, he also still deserves to be celebrated too. So anyways, chat participation time. Who here has been impacted by the painful loss of a loved one because of death, unexpected rejection, or even your own difficult but needed choice to walk away from a relationship, to distance yourself from them? Who here has been impacted? I think we all can say we have been impacted, either by death, by unexpected rejection, or us just having to walk away from a situation, distance ourselves. So an easy one to start with. Wow, I don't like March anymore now. We got Karen and Lisa D. So Karen says me. Selena says me. Kathy says me. Whoops. Chat jumped on me. We got Mary saying me. Lisa D says me. Josie says me. Cole says me, all of those scenarios, right? Why did I not get you started, Josie? And then we got Joanne saying me as well. Echo says me. So there we go. Yeah, and when you said March 17th, I was like, oh, St. Patrick's Day is immediately what popped in my head. So it's safe to say that we've all have experienced some kind of painful loss, whether it was death or being rejected or us having to walk away from a situation. So Josie saying time to learn to let go and go on, right? Yes. So loss is indeed a crucible, a fierce forge that reveals the depths of our hearts, and it presses us into places that are tender and raw, where love once flourished. And in that process, we confront a despair that often feels too much to handle at times. Our memories, they're vibrant and they're vivid, and they flip before us like a dance or a movie reel. What do they call that? I can't think. Movie scene. But sometimes it's a bittersweet reminder of joy and warmth, yet they bring a sharp sting of sorrow. Each recollection is a glimpse into the beauty of what we cherish, a replay that can leave us in tears sometimes. It's a cruel paradox. Among the beauty lies the haunting ache of absence, and a touching blend that makes us both grateful for what was and mournful for what is no longer. Experiencing loss can be a transformative challenge for some of us. I know it definitely has been for me. It's usually always heartbreaking to hear about someone's passing. We understand that life and death are intertwined, yet we often might find ourselves in denial until reality of the death hits us. And whether we knew the person or not, the shock of loss always makes us stop and reflect, especially if it's someone that's our age or, a young person, our children's age or whatever. Someone that was like a mom or dad to us and we've lost our mom and dad. Or if we're talking in physical here in person, if it's a marriage that's ending or, two best friends splitting up or whatever. It's those kind of things that we can connect with people, even if we don't really know them, just hearing their story. Right, Mary? Yes. And if you have been a caretaker for many years, the guilt of feeling relieved of losing or charge. Yes. I understand that 100%. Yes. My mom was in the nursing home. And I understand that as far as it's one less thing I have to do. It's one less thing I have to go and take care of. It's one less phone call that I got, care or worry about or make or whatever. Granted, I'm in that scene with my stepdad now, but things were not as bad all the time. Not I feel robbed again. Ripped off the Band-Aid or ripped the Band-Aid off? Is that what I'm reading? Now I feel robbed again. Yes. I got you, Selena. I can pretty much make out what you're saying usually. But it's usually, like I said, it's heartbreaking when we hear of these certain losses and everything. Grief in its sacredness, it touches our lives even if we didn't share a personal bond with the departed. We can still feel sorrow as human pain connects us all, even, again, if there's, seem like strangers to us. In this shared experience, we can connect with those currently facing the deep sorrow of loss. The tears from those who knew them blend with our own feelings. Just hearing about their passing, the grief, and the celebration of the life brings us together. Suddenly, we feel the ache of missing them, as we can all relate to that emotion as well. What about when we feel grief not from losing a loved one to death, such as in my situation, but from the choice to walk away, or we had to walk away. So either they walked away or you did. What about that grief that we go through? When someone leaves us, it's incredibly painful. We don't just mourn their absence, we ache for their indifference that comes with their decision and the impact that it has been on us. I know this is especially true for me with not having a relationship with my stepdad now. Loss is painful no matter how it happens. We all share in that heartache. We've all experienced that the loss of a loved one we've used to embrace, merging our lives with theirs. Whether they moved away, drifted apart, or passed on, their absence leaves us with a haunting sense of longing, the wonder of what ifs. We might reach for them out of habit only to find emptiness. We dial their number, but there's no answer. Or somebody else answers, their phone. And as we trace our fingers over old photographs of them, we can't feel the warmth of their presence. We've lost this is where I think of my dad, we've lost the inside jokes, the late night chats, disagreements, car rides, cookouts, and the little moments that tied us together. Our lives were intertwined, but now they aren't. This is what loss is. Loss can be so very frustrating, and it often makes us feel like we're losing ourselves even more. So how does all this discussion about loss connect to forgiveness? Let's read what Kraken says. Kraken says, loss for me is when I hear songs on the radio or certain smells. Then the missing feeling comes rolling in all at once and just knocks you for a loop before you get prepared for it, right? Yes. It'll be, for me, sometimes it's the littlest things that would not matter to anybody. And some of it will catch me off surprise too, because I'll be like, oh, that really, made me cry a lot. And it was just something little. And the smells, like the certain smell I always think about is my mom's perfume. And if I smell that on another lady, I just kind of lose it for a second because it's like, I miss that. So embracing your pain and allowing yourself to grieve can help feelings of bitterness. Embracing your pain and allowing yourself to grieve can help heal feelings of bitterness. I want you to take your time hearing what I just said, because if you rush or you're partially listening, you're not paying attention all the way, you might misinterpret what I said as saying sitting in fresh grief can lead to or cause bitterness. And that's not what I said. While that can be true, however, remember that the path that brought you into a dark place may also be your guide to finding a way out. Now, I want you to hang in there with me for just a moment here. I want you to kind of sit here with me about this. I want you to think about this. If loss is what allowed bitterness to creep in, then perhaps revisiting our grief can help us find a way to heal, a way out. It's important to acknowledge that this situation, it feels odd. Often, loss and the grief that follows can lead to bitterness. I completely understand that. When your loss arises from someone else's thoughtlessness, selfishness, irresponsibility, we're talking someone in physical form here that we've lost, it's easy to find bitterness creeping in, often without you even realizing it. Selena said, with Hurricane Rocker acts up, I see his sister saying, Mimi, what'd you do? Knowing I did nothing. Who knew I missed the meanness, right? Someone, ending a friendship without any explanation whatsoever, or a marriage ending without any warning or explanation. We can have bitter feelings, understandably. Initially, it might feel justified, even somewhat helpful, as bitterness seems to fill the emptiness that's left by the sorrow. However, instead of being a temporary guest, that bitterness, it likes to insist on making itself at home in our heart without our consent. It can take up residency in our heart as well before we know it. Exactly. Josie said, bitterness destroys you, not the other person. So over time, bitterness, it evolves beyond just sparking emotions. It aims to take over as your sole primary feeling. It doesn't merely want to share space with you. It seeks to engulf your entire being. I always say it's like poison, and I just feel it just seeping in me. So chat participation time. Let's do another one here. Chat participation time. What are some of the excuses that we might use to try to hold on to our bitter feelings? What are the excuses that we might hold on to be able to hold on to those bitter feelings? What excuses we might use to try to hold on to the bitter feelings? Right, Selena, yes. Just little things. And again, it'll be sometimes there are times that something will I'll just be in tears, and I'm just like, what in the world? And I'll just remember that one little small glimpse at what happened between me and my dad, or me and my mom, or me and my brother. And I'm just like, oh. Mary said they deserve whatever karma they get, right? Yes. Karen says we don't want to forget. Lisa D said they aren't sorry for the hurt they caused you, right? So we're hanging on to it. We're going to make them pay, right? Meanwhile, it's hurting us more than it is anybody else, if anybody else. So it's important. There's an important point about bitterness. Perhaps it's the most crucial part of all this. Joanne said it was their fault, not mine, right? Yes. So a crucial point about bitterness here is that it often doesn't reveal itself as bitterness. It doesn't even reveal that it's even bitterness that you're feeling. Kathy said they don't even know the hurt they cause, right? Yes. Mary says, I know that's not my heart. That's not my energy. Bitterness poison me. Yes. I've been there on that. All right, Selena. Kraken says, I think when something dramatic happens, whether through death or someone leaving, in our minds, I think you're just trying to find someone or something else to blame so you can deal, right? Yes. But bitterness, oh, hold on. Kathy said they passed away without having faced consequences of their actions. Y'all are hitting right on the point. Yes. Right on the point of tonight's notes, tonight's topic. When we occasionally recognize and admit the subtle signs of bitterness that emerge, we tend to label bitterness broadly as resentment. Not bitterness, resentment is what we will tend to say that it is. We, some of us I know I probably have been guilty of this. I know I've been guilty of this. Some of y'all might relate to this as well. We offer a quick prayer like, forgive my bitterness. Forgive me for being so bitter. Forgive me for holding this bitterness for this person. And then we swiftly move on to something else. What we fail to realize is that bitterness can't be resolved quickly because it doesn't appear quickly. It needs to be acknowledged. It needs to be examined. It needs to be thoughtfully understood. To truly understand what's inside you, you need to take a moment to reflect. So let's begin by examining where your struggles emerge and how they affect not just you, but also those around you. You know, the old adage of mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, right? So, but let's talk about how it affects not only you, but the people around you. Bitterness often will mask itself as other chaotic emotions, making it tough to pinpoint what's the real source of the pain. Hey, Robin Tyson, welcome in. Good to see you. Josie says, being a nurse, I've been with lots of people that have passed away. Do you want your loved one to stay here and suffer? No, right? So here is a summary. Let's do a summary of how this manifests in a daily life. As you consider these signs of hidden bitterness, keep in mind that this isn't about blame or criticizing your feelings or my feelings. But here's how it manifests in daily life, and these are all hidden bitterness. You want to avoid having thoughts like, great, just another thing I'm doing wrong. I can't do anything right around here. Or, well, this is just one more reminder of how I've been affected by this difficult situation. I can't do it. Remember that this is a very valuable work to evaluate those type of things that you're saying to yourself. We want to aim to be healthy, self-aware, and honest, ensuring that the pain that we've experienced isn't passed on to others. So let's take a moment to reflect on whether any of these ideas are shaping our thoughts or conversations right now. Maybe some of these are some things that you have had going on in your own mind or conversations. Negative stereotypes, witty and incisive remarks, a burden of resentment that grows heavier within you, wishing for the person who hurt you to feel some pain, feeling anxious about the seeming unfairness of others finding happiness, doubt about whether most people are trustworthy. That's one that I struggle with, just being honest. Especially if they have any, characteristics of my stepdad type thing. Hey, Tammy, there she is. Welcome in. A general doubt about the world, other people. Your negative outlook is disguised as a mere realistic perspective than what others hold. Feeling upset about others who you think have moved on too fast. Feeling frustrated with God for not imposing tougher consequences. There might be mounting anger over the perceived unfairness of it all. The frustration that leads to constantly replaying the events surrounding it, becoming an obsession over time. Using subtle jabs to get your messages across, being passive aggressive. Competing over who has the deeper pain, who has lost more. Overreacting to minor offenses. Jumping to the worst case scenarios irrationally. Not addressing your feelings with the person who has hurt you. Out of sight, out of mind. Neglecting to embrace different viewpoints and repeatedly criticizing the other person in your thoughts. Real quick, Mary said, so true, bitterness creeps in when I feel the crud starts to take over. I go inside for answers. Where am I being selfish, hateful? What is my payoff? Love that. How does that play into swelling my ego? Yes. I can't think of an example, but I can think of a couple. But anyways, that is always one of the questions I ask Mary. It's like, okay, they're getting some sort of payoff. Otherwise, this wouldn't keep going, right? They wouldn't keep doing this back and forth thing. They're feeding off of it, so to speak. Mary said, I'm right, you're wrong. Justified. Nope. Hey, Nancy, welcome in. Good to see you. Josie says, if your faith is strong in time, you will let go of anger. Karen says, now I need to ask God for forgiveness. Karen told me last night, she's like, I'm hanging on for tomorrow. Selena shared earlier, she said, yes, with what Rye is going through, I have to watch what I say and show him smiles, laughter, and everything lighthearted, right? But don't forget to even, talk to him about how he's feeling. And I'll go into that here in just a minute. But again, all those statements I just made, I don't want to cast any blame or guilt your way or my way about any of those type of feelings. My focus is entirely on processing my own feelings about this list that I just gave you. I'm not saying that every point here definitely proves that bitterness is the main issue either. What I do mean to you guys, though, is that you can take a moment away from any attention to reflect on how bitterness may have led to feelings of loss or emptiness in your life. Perhaps you could also create your own list of hidden issues that stem from that bitterness. Kraken said, when you act this way, isn't more like revenge more than bitterness, which is wrong. It's very difficult to let go without feeling that guilty parties be found out, right? Oh, they're going to know. They're going to know today, right? But we need to recognize it before we can tackle it. And since we both understand that past denials often resist being revealed in the present, let's take a unique approach to ease or discomfort. I like to share a different perspective on bitterness and clear up some common misconceptions about it. Here are my observations on what bitterness truly means. Bitterness often stems not from hatred, but from a deep hurt. Now, this isn't meant to excuse bitterness by any means, but to be a reminder that understanding our feelings can help reduce defensiveness. When we feel bitter, it's typically linked to complex, profound wounds that we have. Situations that seem so unfair that they make forgiveness feel impossible. In these moments, the idea of sweet revenge can appear as the only solution. But for many, the closest we get to revenge is through resentment. Oh, thank you, Kraken. We convince ourselves that if others aren't held accountable for their actions, we can at least make them feel the weight of our bitterness internally. Bitterness, believe it or not, is often found in the most tender-hearted, not those with hardened hearts. It's not about being cold-hearted. They simply learn to feel unsafe. And these are caring individuals who have placed their trust in others that they believe were worthy of it, only to feel betrayed when that trust was trampled. Karen says, sometimes I have to deal with the people who have wronged me in some way every day. Right? Mary says, I lean towards profound sadness rather than bitterness. How can someone be so cruel towards someone they said they cared about? Yes. It's like, but then there's also the other side of that. I can't care more than they care. It's not, it's just going to drive me insane also. The pain that's from the shattered trust, it cuts deep, and it leads them to resist connecting with others out of fear of being hurt again. I love that, Karen. Treat them with a long-handled spoon is what my grandmother used to say. I feel that so much right now. And I'm guilty of this. They think that by withdrawing their care, they avoid the risk of further heartbreak. This hardness is contrary to their true nature, yet it feels like the only way to safeguard their hearts. Often this bitterness is driven by a desire for protection. I know this is what I was going through and been through with my stepdad. Protecting myself from another heartache, not wanting to get too close. I don't want to feel that again. I don't want to go through that again. Those are some things I've felt. But bitterness doesn't signify a lack of potential in a relationship. Not at all. Aw, thank you, Kraken. Scooter, I personally wanted to give thanks to you for helping me deal with stuff that I didn't think I would ever be able to handle alone. Aw, thank you, Kraken. Well, real quick, let's bring out the sloth. Thank you, Kraken. All right. So, again, it doesn't lack the potential it doesn't signify a lack of potential in a relationship that you have someone when you got bitterness. But in fact, a bitter heart often has the greatest capacity for deep love. However, this deep love, it also exposes us to profound pain. So when that hurt occurs, it tends to confine the once free spirit of love. That I definitely feel too. Yes, confine the once free spirit of love. Yes. And as a result, the caged love often expresses itself with a bitter cry. So feeling bitterness doesn't make someone a bad person. Often it reflects how a person with great potential has filled their grief and loss with natural yet unhelpful emotions. With that in mind, you can see why I mentioned earlier that if loss invites bitterness, then revisiting our grief can help us find a way to heal. Funerals, those, they can touch us deeply. For some, it makes us open, it makes us reflect, it allows us to reconsider certain things without feeling overwhelmed. But instead of being confronted by the conviction that our heart has strayed, we simply embrace our grief. Some are able to welcome the weight of loss back into their life, stepping out from behind the unfairness of our own circumstances. And as we allow our heart to soften, the fresh pain of loss washes away our defenses. This gentle softening can be beneficial for us. After all, hardened hearts are more prone to shatter, while soft hearts remain resilient. As we distance ourselves from the root of our sadness, our emotional walls, they grow harder. Unresolved pain and sorrow become rigid as dry earth. The only way to soften our hearts again is to let our tears flow freely and gently. During my research, I learned how to tackle hardened soil, if you will. You know, the hard soil that is tough to till when you want to prepare it for growing beautiful plants. Those of y'all that have the green thumb, I'm not that person, but those of y'all that have the green thumb, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you that have been farmers or have farmers in your family, you know what I'm talking about. But it's very similar to how we deal with bitterness. You start by applying a light half-inch of water, just a light amount of half-inch of water, not too much. We don't want to oversaturate it. And we let the ground absorb the moisture slowly. And then we allow it to rest for a couple of days for the water to penetrate deeply. After that, we mist the loosened soil with a gentle spray to soften the surface before raking it and adding compost. We all know what compost is, right? What was once considered waste can transform into valuable fertilizer. Although I'm not a gardener, I find that these steps resonate with my need to nurture the tougher areas of my heart. Good night, Tammy. Right, Robin, I understand that. Yes. She says, I'm still sorrowful about my late son. So, spiritually, this reflects how we can transform deep bitterness into nurturing ground for our growth. Bitterness cannot be forced out of someone, meaning by avoiding pointing at it, poking at it, pleading, or provoking someone to reveal it. Hey, Harry, there you are, buddy. Good to see you. Right, I understand that, Robin. So, what you want to do is you want to ease away the hardness, breaking up the tough ground while adding perspective. This perspective, it acts as the finest fertilizer. Our experiences, they become meaningful when they enrich our hearts, creating fertile ground for new life to flourish. A wise farmer, and those of you with, like I said, with farming in your family, the farmer understands that caring for hard ground isn't a one-time task. It's every season, each new season. It's essential to soften and till that soil again. Our hearts need the same attention. If the heart is left neglected, they can become trampled and hardened over time. That's why it's important to make the practice of softening and nurturing our hearts as a regular part of our lives. When God allows experiences that soften and shapes us, we should remember that it's for our benefit, much like how a farmer nurtures the land. Just as a farmer understands what the soil needs. Y'all listening here? Because I just got chills because I know what I'm about to say. Just as a farmer understands what the soil needs, God knows what our hearts need. Thinking of God like a farmer for our lives, right? That's what I think of on that. Both, the farmer and God, both, they see the immense potential for new life, fresh fruit, and beautiful beginnings. Sometimes we simply need to pause and fully embrace the depth of grief. I know I have allowed some differences in views on life to make me less available for some people in my past. I have. I'm sure some of y'all have as well. But I didn't just set boundaries. I basically stopped trying and gave up too soon. Certain situations, like a funeral, can have a powerful way of reminding us not to leave important and kind words unspoken. Now, I'm not suggesting that we become intrusive observers at funerals. That's not what I'm saying there. Not at all. We should respect the sacred space of someone else's grief. However, we can remain open and attuned to the sorrow around us. A funeral doesn't always require a casket at the front of the church. Moments of grief occur daily in our lives. Consider those times when someone opens up to you about a difficult experience, and all we can say is, I'm really sorry. I'll keep you in my thoughts and prayers. How many of us have said that? I'm really sorry. I'll keep you in my thoughts and prayers. Because prayer can be uplifting, but simply reciting it without true intention is not the same as putting it into action, right? I think we all have, because we just know that that's what we should say, right? But for example, I know for when you guys tell me a prayer request, I want to make sure I put it in action for myself. I don't want to just tell you that I'm praying. I literally want to do it. That's why I take these little notes and I write down what's going on. If someone tells me in passing out in public, I'll record it in my mind and I'll write it in my notes apps on my phone or whatever as soon as I can, so I don't forget, so I can take the action when I do my prayers in the morning. But perhaps a better way to express this is, I know you're facing something really tough, and my heart, it aches with you. While I may not fully understand your pain, I recognize that it's deep. Out of compassion, I'm choosing to hold your grief close today, allowing it to teach me as I keep you in my thoughts and prayers. Oh, Lisa D. She said her house just shook and it isn't storming out. Right, Selena? Yeah, Selena's really good about that too. Harry said, nothing you can do but pray about it, because when you lose someone, the pain seems like it never ends. So all you can do is be there for them, right? Yes. Selena and I, y'all know that we're close. There's no secret there. But Selena and I, we will have days that I call her or she cries me and we're just boo-hooing just because something happened to remind us, or, whatever may be going on. And we just listen to the other. So embrace it. Embrace when someone's sharing with you a bad situation that's going on, or a loss that's happened or whatever. Embrace it and allow the grief to express itself. Bitterness, it often stems from unresolved grief. That's why when we share in someone else's grief, it can help us better process our own losses. I found that Jewish culture offered valuable guidance for coping with the loss of loved ones, which can be incredibly useful as I read about this. As I explored this topic and I was looking up the Jewish culture and everything, I took notes on the insight that it provides. And one of the most interesting points this person made was about ancient Judaism. I hope I said that right. Temple rituals. People would go up the stairs and they enter from the right side. But if you were mourning the loss of an immediate family member, and this is going into the temple, I believe, is from what I remember. Hold on, YouTube is distracting me right now. There we go. But you would go upstairs and you would enter from the right side. But if you were mourning the loss of an immediate family member, you would enter from the left side for an entire year. You would be walking against the flow of those that were leaving the temple. And this would signal to everyone that you were grieving, allowing them to offer you the comfort and the kindness that you needed during that difficult time. I find this practice both intriguing and profoundly supportive. While we may not have a clear signs of loss, one undeniable indication that someone has experienced it is simply that they are alive. Let's approach each person we meet as if they just stepped through the left door. For every individual carries some form of loss. Acknowledge that loss with respect, and it will heighten our awareness, making us gentler and less inclined to be hardened. Now, this doesn't mean that we should accept unacceptable behaviors or enable chaos around us. Instead of labeling people as bad or toxic, we might consider that they are dealing with their own pain. Perhaps their unkindness stems from their struggles. Y'all know I have this good and bad, and there's times I'll be like, I can't believe that she just did that. I can't believe she just didn't say anything. But then I can say, well, what is she going through? What is he going through? What is it that, that they felt like they couldn't come to me? What is it? So instead of saying they're a bad person or toxic for being that way, consider that they're dealing with their own pain. Perhaps their unkindness, it stems from their struggles. I hope to respond with compassion rather than judgment. And I want to let these experiences teach me something valuable. So let's do another chat participation. Chat participation time. Lisa D says, my mom was called to heaven 29 years ago. I miss her every day. I still break down in tears, drop of a dime. Not that I want her back. I just miss her that much. Right? Yes. So, chat participation time. Knowing now that bitterness has a core of hurt, how might remembering that sorrow and pain have deeply shaped? Hold on. Let me reread this. Knowing now that bitterness has a core of hurt, how might remember that sorrow and pain have deeply shaped who they are, change the way that you think about and interact with them? Knowing that bitterness is actually the core of hurt, how would it deeply shape, or how it deeply shaped them and everything? How would it change the way that you think about and interact with them? Do you know that bitterness is the core of hurt? You know, the sorrow and the pain, and that has deeply shaped who they are now. How does that change the way that you think about and interact with them? Y'all, let me know in the chat. I'm going to keep going. So another enduring Jewish morning tradition that I found is sitting Shiva. Never heard of that word, so, I looked it up and everything. And that is the practices that serve for the closest family members, spouses, children, parents, and siblings. And for 7 days after the burial, friends and family gather at the home of the mourners to support them by sharing food, comfort, stories, and memories. Mary says, hurt people, forgive them, Lord, they know not what they do. Compassion, yes. Kathy says, I set boundaries if needed. I think we're going to do a boundary series. I think we'll do that sometime in the future. Because I know that's one thing I got to practice and practice and practice. Robin says, you can forgive the ones who didn't know what to say in your grief, right? Yes. Make sure nothing's. I keep seeing StreamYard glitch every now and then. I know there's been issues. Right, Harry? Yes. Yep. When I lost my dad, I was like, I did not ask to belong to this club. I did not ask to belong to the orphan club of losing both my parents and then my brother. Yes, and that's what people will struggle with though, is praying for the other person that, did them wrong or whatever. It's hard to show compassion. It is. It definitely can be. So, sitting Shiva. It creates a supportive space for expressing grief, allowing the bereaved to take a break from daily life while being cared for by loved ones. So, during Shiva, it's customary to turn off your security system if you have it. It's custom to turn it off, so that allows friends and family to come and go freely. You can be sure that people will come to support you. Attending funerals and observing Shiva are among the most cherished commandments in the Jewish tradition. It's a compassionate gesture done without expecting anything in return. That's crazy, Lisa. Let us know if you figure it out. Right? Selena says, I have to vent, then I move on. It may take a minute, though. Just being truthful. Right? Yes. I think we all can relate to that. Loss is always recognized and grief is openly acknowledged. This journey isn't taken alone. Healing happens through shared experience of loss. The path to healing is also the path to move forward. Right, Robin, yes. If we can connect deeply with our emotions while watching a movie that moves us to tears for characters that we don't even know, imagine how much more we can emphasize with the real people around us who are experiencing loss. My mom and I, we would watch Young and the Restless when I was younger. And we'd just be talking about the characters and stuff and getting all mad or, teary-eyed or whatever, that show was for the day. And my stepdad would walk in, he'd be like, who are y'all talking about? And we're like, oh, we're talking about Young and Restless, so-and-so and so-and-so, whatever. He'd be like, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought y'all were talking about real people. So imagine how much more that would be if we actually took real people around us who are experiencing loss. Remember, you don't need to experience a profound loss like the death of a loved one to begin softening your heart's soil. Right, definitely, Selena. Today, I see several friends coping with various losses, both big and small. No matter the magnitude, their grief is genuine and it deserves to be acknowledged. Processing this grief can help soften the tough spots in my own heart. Kraken said, life from beginning to end is priceless, and that means no one person is worth more than another. But people who hurt others think that they are worthy or worth more, and it isn't true, right? Yes. I know. Sorry, guys. Okay. So let me ask you a question that I probably should have posed earlier when we first started. Sometimes taking a scenic route is more meaningful when you genuinely care about the people with you on this journey. And my friend, I truly care about you and the pain that you're experiencing. So today I want my words to sit with you in a moment of shared reflection as we navigate this together. So here's my final question for our discussion. My final question for you, not necessarily a chat participation question, but final question is, what does bitterness mean to you? Is it a feeling? Is it a heart that feels as unyielding as hard ground? Is it perhaps unresolved grief? Could it be the words I say that wound others because I felt pain? Is it an attitude that spills over in unwelcome ways? Bitterness might just be a mix of all these feelings and more. And in the next topic, we'll explore how to handle our bitterness. But for now, let's consider another perspective. All right, you got me going back to what I said, Selena. What does bitterness mean to you? I'm not worthy. I'm a piece of crap. I don't mean to be that way. I love a lot, but I'm human, right? Harry said all. Got you, Kathy. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Josie said it makes your heart cold and causes you to show it to others. Yes. You're fine, Karen. You're fine. But bitterness, again, just might be a mix of all those feelings and more. So the next topic, we're going to discuss how to handle the bitterness. For now, let's consider another perspective. Let's consider another perspective on this. What if bitterness is actually a seed of beautiful potential waiting to be nurtured in the rich soil of forgiveness? What if? Sorry, Karen. I tell it like low level of commercials, so I tell it, but it's been going crazy, it seems, here lately. Hey, Susan, welcome in. Good to see you. Welcome. So what if bitterness is actually a seed of beautiful potential waiting to be nurtured in the rich soil of forgiveness? I've decided to embrace it all. The pain of my loss, whether walking away from a relationship or death, the sweetness of new possibilities, the guilt from using my grief to hurt others, and the forgiveness from a compassionate Savior. I fully acknowledge the unfairness of my wrongs, and I recognize that holding on to resentment hasn't brought me peace. Now I'm contemplating how to welcome tenderness back into my life. Receiving the invitation to sit Shiva brings a mix of being skeptical, urging me to reconsider participating. Yet there's a thrilling possibility for healing and a profound realization that beauty exists in our world, particularly amidst the sadness of funerals. Perhaps even more so because of them. Thank you, Susan. Appreciate that. All right, let's do a quick prayer real quick, guys. So, dear Lord, you see the aches in our hearts and the loss that we carry. There are things that have been taken, things that have ended, and maybe some words that still echo in our minds. Some days the pain feels heavy and forgiveness feels even heavier. Lord, we bring any hurt to you. You know the anger that we struggle with, the memories we cannot change, and the questions that we still ask. Help us release what we cannot carry forward forever. Teach our hearts how to forgive, not because the pain was small, but because you want our hearts to be free. Heal the wounds that loss has left behind. Where bitterness tries to grow, plant peace instead. Where grief sits quietly in our soul, breathe your comfort. Give us the courage to let go of what holds us captive. Give us compassion where resentment once lived. And remind us that forgiveness is not forgetting the pain, but trusting you with justice and healing. Walk with us through any grief. Restore what has been broken inside of us, and lead us gently into peace. In Jesus' name, amen. 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 I got you, Kraken. Kraken said bitterness to me is more like regret because I couldn't be there to stop my daughter from giving up. I got you, Kraken. All right. Thank you guys for starting off your week with me for Monday Motivation. As always, I always love seeing you guys. I know you have other things that you could be doing, other people that you could be watching, spending time with your family, watching that good TV show, movie, whatever it may be, etc. But you chose to be here. So thank you again, as always. Tomorrow night, I'll be on at 7:30 p.m. Central. Wednesday night, I'll be on at 7:30 p.m. Central. And Thursday night, I don't know why, but I come on at 7 p.m. Central. Next Monday night, next Monday Motivation, we are going to be on episode 159, and we'll be discussing bitterness. We're going to continue this conversation, but we're going to talk about how we can handle this. Another great topic that's still in forgiveness, continuing this series. Again, we got however many Mondays is left of this month is how many topics we got left, and we'll be done with the series. So thank you guys for hanging in there with me for this one. Make sure you do all the YouTube things. You subscribe, ring that bell, and a thumbs up on your way out. I would greatly appreciate that. Make it a great week if I don't see you somewhere around the YouTube. Remember that we forgive people from the overflow of what we really believe to be true about Christ. Hold on, guys. Before you leave, Susan, let me write that down. Susan, keep me updated about that, please, dear. Let me know. Keep me updated about that, Susan. I'm so sorry, and I will got you to my prayer list right now. Thank you, Lisa D. All right, guys, y'all keep Susan in your prayers. Keep Lisa D in your prayers for her infusions that are happening Thursday. And if y'all can keep Marissa, she's usually here. If y'all can keep her in your prayers as well. All right, let me know, Susan. Let me know. All right, guys, y'all have a great rest of your night, great rest of your week. I'll see you soon. Now let's do this thing. Good night, everybody.